Hey everybody, and welcome back to the deep dive. It's Lex here, and I'm with Vera, and we're ready to give you some more digital marketing knowledge to use in your business. You know, we're always talking to business owners and C-level execs, and we want to make sure that you're staying ahead of the game. So we're looking at search engine land today, and they have some predictions for underutilized PPC tactics that are going to be huge in 2025. So we're going to dig into that and see what we can learn from it. And if you find this helpful, please hit that follow button. Share this with someone else who might find it useful. All right, so let's dive in.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. We always talked about these new strategies, these new platforms. But a lot of times, the biggest wins come from looking at the stuff we already know and thinking about it a little differently. And that's what Search Engine Land did with these 4 tactics. They're not new, but they're overlooked. And that's where we can find some opportunity.
Okay, so first up, dynamic search ads. I know what you're thinking. DSAs, so 2023. But here's the thing. Search Engine Land isn't talking about using them the way we usually do. They're talking about using them to spy on our competitors.
Exactly. It's like competitive intelligence on steroids. Instead of manually looking at your competitors' websites and trying to guess what their keywords are, you can actually see how Google is seeing their content and what search terms it's matching their pages with. So you can get those monthly search volume estimates, see what categories Google thinks are most relevant to them, and you even get to peek at how their ad copy is written.
Okay, hold on. How does that even work? We're setting up like fake DSA campaigns that target their site. That sounds a little shady to me.
No, not at all. You're just making a DSA campaign the way you normally would. But instead of using your own website or your feed, you put in your competitor's URL, and then Google analyzes their site just like it would yours. And you get all that info without spending any money on ads.
Wow. So we're not actually running ads against them. We're just using the DSA setup as a research tool.
Right. It's like you're peeking over their shoulder while they're playing cards. You can see their whole strategy, what they're good at and what they're not good at. And that information is super valuable.
So what kind of insights are we talking about here? Give me some examples of how we could use this data.
Okay, so let's say you're a luxury travel company. You set up one of these DSA campaigns to target your biggest competitor. You might see that they're ranking really well for all-inclusive Maldives vacations, but they're totally missing out on the sustainable luxury travel niche. So now you have an opportunity to step in and target that market.
Right. So it's not just seeing what keywords they're using. It's about understanding the gaps in their strategy.
Yeah.
And finding where you can really stand out.
Exactly. You want to use their strengths to figure out your own competitive advantage.
Okay. I'm convinced this DSA hack is genius. It's sneaky, it's brilliant, and I'm definitely going to try it. What's next on Search Engine Land's list?
This one might surprise you. It's Cumulative Layout Shift, or CLS. You're probably thinking, isn't that an SEO thing? And you'd be right. But CLS can actually have a big impact on your PPC campaigns too, even if Google Ads doesn't directly measure it.
Okay, my SEO is a little rusty. So what is CLS all about? And why should I care as a PPC marketer?
So CLS basically measures how much stuff on a page moves around after it loads. Imagine you're about to click a button, and suddenly an ad pops up and moves the button. Okay. That's annoying. And it usually happens when ads are done poorly, or when there's too much stuff loading too slowly.
Yeah, I hate when that happens. I just want to leave the site.
Exactly, and that's the problem. Google knows that a high CLS score means a bad user experience, and that can lead to less engagement, more bounce rates. And it can even hurt your quality score.
So even though it's mainly an SEO metric, it can still affect how well our ads do by changing the quality of the sites our ads are on.
That's right. It's all connected. Google wants to give users the best experience they can, whether it's from organic results or paid ads. So if your ads are on sites with really bad CLS scores, it makes your brand look bad. And it can hurt your campaign.
So how do we use CLS to improve our PPC? I can't just filter placements by CLS score in Google Ads, can I?
No, unfortunately not. It's a little more manual than that. You'll need to use tools like PageSpeed Insights or Lighthouse to look at the CLS scores of potential placements. It's more work, but it's worth it. You want to make sure your ads are on good quality sites that care about user experience.
So we're being proactive and picky about where our ads show up. We're using CLS to weed out the bad sites, and we're making sure that our ads are part of a positive user experience.
Exactly. You want to maximize your ad spend by choosing placements that are relevant to your audience, but also make sure that they're providing a good browsing experience.
This is making me think about the bigger picture. User experience impacts everything we do in digital marketing. From SEO to PPC.
It all comes back to the user. If you want to do well online, you got to put the user first.
Okay, I'm adding CLS audits to my to-do list. What's next?
Get ready for this one. We're going to use a tool from Microsoft.
Microsoft. What does Microsoft have to do with Google Ads? I'm intrigued.
It's all about using data in unexpected ways. Microsoft has this great web publisher report that shows you sites that might be bad for advertisers, like content farms disguised as real publishers, sites with tons of bot traffic, the kind of places that eat up your budget without giving you any results.
Okay, so how do we use this Microsoft data to help our Google Ads campaigns?
Here's the best part. You can take those bad placements from Microsoft's report and use them to create account-level exclusions in Google Ads.
But wait, so we're using information from a competitor to make our Google Ads better? That's genius. But is it ethical?
It's all public information. And remember, knowledge is power. Think of it as doing good market research and using that to make better decisions. By blocking those bad placements in Google Ads, you make sure your ads are only on sites that meet your standards, and that means a better return on your investment.
I'm sold. What's number 4?
This one's all about getting the most out of those small wins. We're talking about micro-conversions.
Okay, micro-conversions, I've heard that term, but I'm not really sure what they are or how they fit in with PPC.
Think of micro-conversions as the steps along the way to a full conversion. They're the little actions that show a user is interested, even if they don't buy something right away. Things like watching a product demo video, adding an item to their cart, or even just spending a certain amount of time on a page.
So instead of just focusing on that final conversion, like a purchase or a lead form, we're also tracking these smaller actions that show they're moving towards that goal.
Yes. And this is important in 2025 because customer journeys are getting more complex. People don't just go from finding a product to buying it in one straight line anymore. They do research, they compare, they switch between devices and platforms.
So by tracking micro-conversions, we're getting a closer look at that journey and understanding the steps they take before they convert.
You got it. It's like watching them make their decision. You can see what content they like, what features they're interested in, and what problems they might be having.
Okay, I see the value. But how do we actually use this to improve our campaigns? What's the action we need to take?
For one, you can use micro-conversions to give your algorithms more data, even if you're not getting those 50 conversions per month with your main goal. Using micro-conversions can help fill in the gaps and make your targeting and bidding more accurate.
It's like giving Google's AI a little boost. More signals, more patterns to work with.
Exactly. And that can mean better ad placement, spending your money more wisely, and ultimately higher conversion rates for the goals that really matter.
So we're not just tracking these micro-conversions for fun. It's about using that data to optimize our whole campaign and get better results.
Exactly. And there's another benefit here. When you track micro-conversions, you can start to see the weak points in your customer journey. Maybe you see people adding stuff to their cart, but then they leave before they buy anything. That tells you something's wrong with your checkout process. It might be too complicated, or the shipping costs are too high.
Right. You can use those micro-conversions to figure out where you're losing customers.
Yeah.
And then you can make changes to fix your website or your funnel.
Exactly. It's all about using data to make things better.
Okay, I'm on board. Micro-conversions are important. But how do we actually track them? Do we just set up new conversion actions in Google Ads?
Yeah, that's right. But there's a big decision you got to make. Assign in conversion values. You got to decide how much each micro-conversion is worth compared to your main goal.
Okay, so let's say our main goal is a purchase that's worth $100. And we think watching a product demo video is a good sign they might buy something. We could give that micro-conversion a value of like $10 or $15?
Exactly. That's where the strategy comes in. You got to really think about the customer journey and how important each step is. Don't underestimate those smaller actions, but don't make them seem more important than they are either.
Right. It's all about finding that balance. And this should help with reporting too, and explaining things to stakeholders.
Definitely. It's important to show how those micro-conversions are helping your campaigns, especially when you want to prove that your marketing is working.
So we've talked about a lot of cool stuff today. DSAs for competitor research, CLS audits to make sure our ads are on good sites, using Microsoft data for Google Ads, and optimizing for micro-conversions. That's a lot of information, but I think we're really starting to see how we can get the most out of our PPC campaigns.
And that's what it's all about, right? Looking beyond the obvious stuff and finding those new and different ways to stand out in this crazy digital world.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to talk to our listeners in the West, the business owners and C-level execs. At Shield Media, we're all about local SEO, PPC, and social media marketing for businesses just like yours. We know the challenges you face, and we want to help you succeed.
We're taking everything we talked about today, these new tactics and hidden opportunities, and we're building them into our strategies. We're always researching, testing, and improving our approach so our clients are getting the best results possible.
If you're feeling a little lost in the world of digital marketing, or you're ready to take your campaigns to the next level, let's chat. We offer a free consultation where we can talk about your goals and challenges. And we're confident we can help you grow your business.
We're not just another agency. We're your partners. We're invested in your success. And we'll work hard to make sure you're getting the most out of your marketing budget.
So if you're ready to take that next step, head over to our website at website address. Or send us an email address. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, so before we wrap up, I think it's important to remember that none of these tactics are like a magic solution. What works for one business might not work for another.
Right. It really depends on your goals
Mhm.
and how much risk you're willing to take.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're in a really competitive industry, like online retail, that DSA competitive research could be huge.
Yeah, imagine seeing what your competitor is doing, the
Yeah.
one who's already killing it.
Right.
What keywords are they using? What landing pages are converting well? That's information you can use to get ahead.
Right. But if you're already a well-known business with a good reputation, maybe you should focus on those CLS audits, making sure your ads are only on high-quality sites. That strengthens your brand image and builds trust with customers.
Exactly. It's all about sending the right message.
It all comes back to know your audience, your market, and your goals. Now, I know some of you are thinking, this is great, but I'm already busy enough. Do I really have time to add more stuff to my plate? And to that, I say, delegate.
That's where a good agency can help. They can handle the technical stuff, the data analysis, and keep things running smoothly so you can focus on the bigger picture.
And if you're looking for that kind of partner, well, you know where to find us. But even if you're doing your marketing yourself, don't be afraid to experiment. Start small. Try the DSA trick with one competitor. Or run a CLS audit on a few of your top placements. You never know what you might find.
The important thing is to stay curious. Don't settle for what you're already doing. There's always something new to learn, a new tool to try, a new way to improve.
So keep learning, keep testing, and keep pushing the limits. That's how you stay ahead in digital marketing.
Exactly. And we'll be here to help you along the way.
That's right. So hit that follow button, share this with anyone who needs a digital marketing boost, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.
Thanks for listening.